Hi everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday, the 3rd of February 2019. Thank you for joining me. I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite deck for today's reading. This is the reading that I use in my personal readings. It's based on the original Rider-Waite deck. They have updated the colors and made it brighter and more cheerful. And I'm a big fan of bright colors, so this is one of my favorite decks. As I'm shuffling the cards, I just tune in and I ask, what is the energy of Sunday, the 3rd of February going to be about? And I will then choose 3 cards to give an answer and to see how we can use the day's energy to our advantage. So these readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches. Have a look. The 3 of Swords in reverse, the King of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So, you are protected from heartbreak today because you really embody the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a man who has worked his way through the court cards, being a page of swords, so a beginner. Let's say a legal assistant, then he's become the Knight of Swords, a prosecutor, and now he has become the King of Swords, the judge. He uses his intellect, he uses reason to make decisions. He also uses his intuition and the feeling of what's right and wrong. And he doesn't just judge based on the law, he judges on what's ethically right and wrong, what's morally right and wrong. He's not constrained by the law. See this butterfly there? His thoughts have really transformed and developed him from being a little caterpillar to having the freedom to think for himself. He's able to think beautiful things, but he's also able to bring that sword down to cut away the negative, to cut away fears, to cut away things that he dislikes, and he's in charge. And because he's in the middle of this reading, he keeps you safe from heartbreak, loss, and betrayal. That's what this card is about. The 3 of Swords is you communicate something. I love you, you complete me. I've never loved anyone like you. And you get the response, well, I don't love you, and I never have. Ouch. Sword right through the heart. Heartbreak. I'm leaving you. I've met someone else, someone younger, someone more youthful and exciting. You bore me. I don't want to be with you anymore. Next sword. Or you just go home and you find an empty closet. Person has left you. Maybe there's a little post-it note saying, I'm gone. Live your own life. You're protected from all of those things today. First of all, because you're not focused on expressing and feeling a need to be validated through love. You realize that you're complete and whole in yourself, and that you don't need the true love or the affection and the approval of another person to make you feel complete. You know, that those statements, I love you, you complete me, that's a statement that is just asking for a certain response. I love you too, you complete me too. Let's embrace, let's kiss. It's a very loaded question that demands something of the other person so that you feel a certain emotion. And today you don't demand anything of other people. You don't demand their approval. You don't demand their love. You don't demand their support. In fact, you could care less. And you being the King of Swords, you have certain ideas. So you may decide that it's now time you've been guided and you feel very strongly that it's time for you to take the job in Kenya and to uproot the family and to go. And the kids are screaming and saying they despise you because how dare you take them out of the school. Let's say it's a female who decides this. Your husband is saying, well, I can't just give up my job here. We'll have to either do this long distance, or I'm going to have to give up my job to come to Kenya with you. And you say, well, that's your choice. I'm going. And it's really an incredible build-up that we've had this week of becoming incredibly self-focused and really focused on maximizing your potential and really actualizing who you are and taking no prisoners in the process, really being quite brutal in the process and saying, this is my truth. This is what I was put on planet Earth for. And I'm not going to control you. I'm not going to try and convince you to be on board. If you don't like the way I do things, there's the door. And you're completely detached from any sort of commitments that you've made in the past, any sort of crutch that you've needed in the past, any dependence that you felt before, whether it was on a drug or another person or an environment, a community that you used as a crutch that propped you up. That's all gone now. You've developed into this self-sustaining individual who is completely honest with him or herself and who is completely aware of the fact that you're here on planet Earth to live your own life and you're not here to make other people happy. And you feel the pull of the Wheel of Fortune, which is urging you to transition into a different period of your life, and it's turning around and it's turning, and the faster it spins, the more it's pulling in the water around it, the more it's pulling in everything around it. It's like a hurricane building, the eye of the storm, and everything just around it spins quicker and quicker, and it sucks up houses and machinery, and everything is just pulled into this storm, and it moves through the world, and it takes absolutely no prisoners either. It is what it is. It makes no apologies for the destruction it causes, because it says, that is my nature. I am designed to be this way. I'm designed to form and have this calm center and to completely pull everyone else around me in and everything around me into myself. And that is my nature. And you're the eye of the storm today, and you're transitioning, and you pull things in, and whether they want to come along or not does not matter to you. Whether they are able to escape and they quickly drive away from the hurricane that's happening, that's irrelevant to you as well. And as you are in this center, as you're in the eye of the storm, you start to make sense of these glyphs and hieroglyphs, and you start to understand who you really are. And by being really ruthless in your behavior today, you discover different aspects of yourself that have never made sense. And by doing that, you gain infinite wisdom about who you are as an individual, as a person, and there's no judgment there. It's just, this is my nature. It reminds me of Truman Capote in the 70s and 80s. He wrote, in the 60s, he wrote this amazing literary literary journalism type of novel, which was called In Cold Blood. And he became the darling of high society, and he really enjoyed being in that world of high society. So hanging around with Lee Radziwill and Andy Warhol and CZ Guest, or whatever she was called, all of these, very high society people. And he started to write about them, and he started to write stories about what went on at these high society events. And once the high society people started to read these stories, they were appalled and they felt betrayed, and they said, "How could you?" And he said, "What did you expect? I'm a writer. That's what you celebrated me for. I'm a writer. I write. That is my nature." And he tried to explain that to them, but he was completely shunned. He was thrown out of this high society, and it really had a negative impact on him. But it's so interesting that he really spoke his truth. He said, that this is who I am. And you knew that with me appearing on the scene and coming in, and you just didn't think the sword would be brought down on you because you thought you were beyond that. And that was a humbling experience for all the high society people who then had their secrets splattered all over the newspapers publicly, and they were embarrassed. And that's why that door was shut on him. But like a hurricane, people who are true to their natures, you can't stop them. And the actions have consequences. And whether you destroy a whole landscape and then clear it for something new to be built there, or whether you destroy it to close a certain door in your life so that you have to look for other doorways and other opportunities to move forward, it's an inexorable, immutable force of life. You can't argue with it. You can't change it. All you can do is be it, live it, be as authentic as possible, and go with the flow and see where it takes you. So it's almost like you're not in control of the day. So powerful, life-changing, and certainly eye-opening in terms of your own power and what strength you have to build and create and also to destroy. So you see the goddess Kali in yourself today, to some extent. The mother who brings life but also takes it away again. 3 and 1 is 4, and 10 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5, and 5 is freedom. So when you realize that you have these powers within you to give life and to take it, and to build and to destroy, you realize that you have utter freedom over your life, and that you can start on a new path anytime you like. Anytime you like. So that's what I get for you here on Sunday, the 3rd of February. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology. In the astrology readings, I draw up your birth chart. I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth to draw up your natal chart. That then shows me a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it's a blueprint of who you are. It shows me where you've been in past lifetimes and what your life purpose is this time around, what your vocational aptitudes are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what's coming up for you in love and romance and money and travel and moving, and also what's destined in those areas for you to some extent, where you're naturally lucky, where you're naturally supported, and where you have to do some transformation to really bring out the strongest side of yourself. It's all there in the chart. So if you have any questions about yourself or what's coming up in the future for you, and you'd like me to have a look at your chart, then please just get in touch via the website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. If you like my videos, as I said before, please do share them online. And also hit the subscribe button on this channel so you'll be notified of when I release new videos. I do these daily tarot readings, weekly horoscopes for all signs of the zodiac, and I do monthly horoscopes for each specific sign of the zodiac. So there's something for everyone. Have a look. I also do yearly forecasts for each sign of the zodiac, so check out those videos as well, what's coming up for you in 2019 if you haven't already. We're only in the second month, so there's still time to check those out. Have a wonderful end to your weekend here. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.